Imagine a sun-soaked paradise turning into a parent's worst nightmare. An 18-year-old girl vanishes without a trace on the final night of her dream vacation, leaving behind a trail of conflicting stories, international intrigue, and a suspect who would later confess to a chilling act. But was justice ever truly served? When a confession came years later without a murder conviction. Stick around as we dive deep into the unsolved mystery of Natalee Holloway's disappearance. A case that captivated the world and exposed the dark underbelly of a tropical getaway. By the end of this video, you'll uncover the twists, the suspects, and the lingering questions that still haunt this cold case today, helping you understand why it remains one of the most infamous missing persons stories in modern history. Welcome to the True Crime Report Cold Cases, where we revisit the files on forgotten and unresolved mysteries to shed light on what really happened, or at least what we know so far. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. Today we're exploring the central riddle that has puzzled investigators for nearly 2 decades. What happened to Natalee Holloway on that fateful night in Aruba? And why has the truth been so elusive despite years of searches, arrests, and confessions? Let's start at the beginning with who Natalee was. A bright, ambitious young woman on the cusp of her future. Born on October 21, 1986, in Memphis, Tennessee, Natalee and Holloway grew up in a loving family. After her parents' divorce in 1993, she and her younger brother Matthew were raised by their mother, Beth, in Clinton, Mississippi. In 2000, following Beth's remarriage to businessman George "Jug" Twitty, the family relocated to the affluent suburb of Mountain Brook, Alabama. Natalee excelled at Mountain Brook High School, graduating with honors in May 2005. She was a member of the National Honor Society, the dance squad, and various extracurriculars. With a full scholarship to the University of Alabama awaiting her, where she planned to study pre-med, Natalee's life seemed full of promise. To celebrate graduation, Natalee and 124 classmates embarked on an unofficial 5-day trip to Aruba on May 26, 2005, accompanied by 7 chaperones. Aruba, a Dutch Caribbean island known for its beaches and nightlife, promised fun and freedom. According to reports from chaperones and classmates, the group engaged in heavy partying with accounts of excessive drinking and room switching. Aruban Police Commissioner Gerald Dompig later described the students' behavior as involving wild partying and starting days with cocktails, though Natalee's family has disputed claims about her personal involvement in drug use. 2 classmates noted the drinking was kind of excessive, and the Holiday Inn reportedly informed the group they wouldn't be welcome back the next year. The night everything changed was May 29th, leading into the early hours of May 30th. Natalee was last seen by her classmates around 1:30 a.m. outside Carlos and Charlie's, a popular nightclub in Oranjestad. Witnesses reported her entering a car with 3 young men: 17-year-old Joran van der Sloot, a Dutch honors student living in Aruba, and brothers Deepak Kalpo, 21, and Satish Kalpo, 18, both from Suriname. Deepak owned the car. Natalee was scheduled to fly home that day, but she never boarded her flight. Her luggage and passport were found untouched in her Holiday Inn room, sparking immediate alarm. As the sun rose on May 30th, Natalee's absence triggered a frantic response. Her mother, Beth Twitty, and stepfather, Jug Twitty, flew to Aruba by private jet, arriving within hours. They quickly provided police with Joran van der Sloot's name and address, obtained from the Holiday Inn night manager who allegedly recognized him from security footage. Those statements about the footage's functionality have varied. Accompanied by 2 Aruban officers, the Twittys confronted van der Sloot at his home. He initially denied knowing Natalee but then claimed, along with Deepak Kalpo, that they had driven her to Ayrshire Beach near the California lighthouse to see sharks, dropped her off at her hotel around 2 a.m., and watched as she walked toward an unidentified man wearing what they described as a security-type shirt. This story would unravel quickly, but let's pause here to build the suspense. What if that was the last anyone truly saw of Natalee? The investigation that followed would involve international teams, false leads, and a media storm, but no body, no definitive answers. The search efforts were massive from the start. Aruban authorities, volunteers, and even Dutch Marines scoured the island and surrounding waters. The FBI joined early, with U.S. officials like Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice noting substantial resources were being applied. Aruban banks raised funds and civil servants were given time off to help. Beth Twitty stayed in Aruba, initially at the Holiday Inn in Natalee's room, then at a Wyndham suite. Despite these efforts, no trace emerged. A possible blood sample from Deepak's car turned out not to be blood, and security camera claims about the hotel lobby were inconsistent. Some reports said the cameras weren't working, others suggested Natalee might not have needed to pass through the lobby. Arrests began on June 5, 2005, with two former security guards, Nick John and Abraham Jones, detained on suspicion of murder and kidnapping, possibly based on the dark man description. They were released without charges on June 13. Then on June 9, Vander Sloot and the Kalpoe brothers were arrested for kidnapping and murder. Under Aruban law, suspects can be held on serious suspicion with periodic reviews. Commissioner Dom Pig later said surveillance had begun early but suggested public and international pressure contributed to arrests being made before sufficient evidence was secured. The suspects' stories shifted. Initially corroborating the beach drop-off, they later claimed Vander Sloot left Natalee on the beach near the Marriott Hotel. Vander Sloot allegedly said he walked home, but texts and calls complicated this. Dom Pig dismissed one version as an attempt to implicate the Kalpoes, noting cultural improbabilities in the narrative. Additional arrests followed. A DJ named Steve Gregory Crows on June 17 and Vander Sloot's father Paulus on June 22, both released shortly after. By July 4, the Kalpoes were freed, but Vander Sloot remained detained longer. Dutch F-16s with infrared sensors searched in vain. A pond near the Aruba Racket Club was drained based on a gardener's tip about seeing Vander Sloot there early on May 30, but nothing was found. A jogger's landfill claim led to multiple searches with FBI cadaver dogs, again fruitless. Rewards climbed to $1 million for Natalee's safe return and $250,000 for her remains. Hair strands on duct tape were tested and ruled out as Natalee's. The Kalpoes and a friend, Freddie Arambatsis, were rearrested in August but released in September with restrictions lifted soon after. Vander Sloot gave interviews maintaining innocence but admitting initial lies out of fear. As we approached the midway point, the case seemed stalled. But hold on, because the twists were just beginning. In 2006, new suspects like Jeffrey van Kromvoort and Guido Weaver were arrested and released. The Dutch took over the investigation, searching the Vander Sloot and Kalpoe homes in 2007, finding nothing incriminating. Then came the bombshell Dutch TV program in 2008. Reporter Peter R. de Vries aired hidden camera footage where Vander Sloot, allegedly under marijuana's influence, claimed Natalee convulsed and died on the beach and a friend disposed of her body. The friend denied it and Vander Sloot retracted, saying he lied to the undercover contact. A judge denied an arrest warrant based on inconsistencies. More wild claims followed. Vander Sloot alleged selling Natalee into slavery, then retracted. In 2010, he emailed Beth Twitty's lawyer offering her body's location for $250,000, leading to FBI sting and extortion charges. But the most shocking moment? On May 30, 2010, exactly 5 years after Natalee's disappearance, Vander Sloot murdered Stephanie Flores Ramirez in Peru, confessing after her death in his hotel room. While in Peruvian custody, he admitted the extortion was revenge against Natalee's family. Natalee was declared legally dead in 2012 at her father's request. Bone discoveries in 2010 and 2017 proved unrelated. A 2017 Oxygen documentary alleged Vander Sloot's friend helped dispose of remains, but it was contested, leading to lawsuits. Much of what we know today is based on conflicting witness accounts and Vander Sloot's own statements, many of which changed over time and were not corroborated by physical evidence. The ultimate revelation came in 2023. Extradited to the US on extortion and wire fraud charges, Vander Sloot pleaded guilty and, as part of a proffer agreement, confessed to killing Natalee after she rejected his advances. He claimed he struck her with a heavy object, causing fatal injuries, and later disposed of her body in the ocean. He returned to Peru to finish his sentence for Flores murder. Criticism abounded. The Holloways accused Aruban police of mishandling, while Arubans protested media bias. Boycott calls emerged but fizzled. Media frenzy highlighted missing white woman syndrome, with extensive US coverage. So what really happened? Vander Sloot's 2023 confession provided long-awaited answers, but without physical evidence or a murder conviction, significant questions still linger. Was it premeditated? Did others help? The case underscores investigative challenges across borders. If this dive into Natalee Holloway's story left you pondering the shadows of paradise, like, comment, and share your theories below. What do you think truly happened that night? For more chilling tales from across the globe, check out my playlist on other true crimes in Europe. Thanks for watching the True Crime Report Cold Cases. Stay curious, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next episode.